Bom dia a todos novamente. Obrigado a todos pela vossa presença neste webinar. Neste webinar iremos falar sobre o Sign, um webinar em parceria com a Adobe, onde temos aqui presentes connosco a Natália e o Bart, que vão fazer aqui uma apresentação sobre as integrações com o Microsoft 365 e como esta parceria é importante para a Adobe. Aqui principalmente vai estar a Natália a apresentar, o Bart vai estar a ajudar aqui com as questões do chat. Podem ir colocando perguntas ou questões durante a apresentação que irão sendo respondidas. Tem aqui o meu contacto para qualquer informação que queiram após o webinar, cotação, pedidos de esclarecimento, qualquer dúvida que tenham, podem contactar, estão à vontade. Vou passar aqui então a palavra à Natália. Natalia and Bart, thank you very much for your presence and your help with this webinar. I will stop sharing and the show is all yours.
Thank you very much. So hello everyone on the call. I would like to welcome you to today's webinar. My name is Natalia and I'm a solution consultant here at Adobe, and I specialize in Adobe Sign. I'm extremely excited to host today's session, and I'm going to talk primarily about Adobe Sign and how to integrate with Microsoft 365. Along with myself, I have Bart on the call, who's a principal solution consultant and SMB program manager for EMEA. I'm super happy he could join us today to help me host this session. Bart will be mending our chat and supporting me with answering any questions which you might ask during the session. So please, if you do have any questions to ask, pop them into the chat section and we will get those answered as soon as possible. The session is recorded, so if you do need to leave the room at any point, please do so. And do not worry, the recording will be sent out to you in a couple of days' time, so you can go through any sections that you've missed. Bart, did you want to introduce it all or say hello?
I'm good. Just say good morning. Hello, thanks for joining everyone. And I think Natalia, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to share my screen now. One moment. Right. So that should work now. Let's have a look. So please let me know if, Bart, are you able to see the screen well?
Yes, this is perfect.
Okay, great. So let's start off. So what we'll be covering today. So in the next hour, we will explore Adobe and Microsoft deep partnership and becoming a leader in digital business transformations. And we will cover a brief overview of how Adobe Sign is impacting, giving us a big economic impact. And we'll also look at ways we can use Adobe Sign with different Microsoft applications and touch upon the importance of security as well. We will close out our session today with a hands-on demo showcasing Adobe Sign in action. And we will start off with a web portal walkthrough and the ease of use of Adobe Sign application through Microsoft Word, Teams, and finally Sharepoint. And I'll pick up any questions that you might have at the end of this session. So why is Microsoft and Adobe's partnership so important, and what values does it bring to you? So for years, Adobe and Microsoft have joined forces to unite data, content, and workflows to help brands worldwide transform their businesses. The partnership leverages the strengths and leadership of both companies, bringing the richness and power of Adobe Cloud directly into the collaboration solutions of Microsoft 365. Together, Microsoft and Adobe enable a modern digital experience that is unmatched by any other ecosystem, helping businesses digitally transform while delivering great experiences to their customers. Both companies are cloud leaders, providing highly rated productivity solution and intelligent cloud technology. They're fully integrated and enterprise ready, meaning all legal security and compliance requirements are in place. They also have super rich ecosystem and global partners. Adobe's customers include some of the world's top brands across finance services, technology, healthcare, government, education, consumer markets, telecom, and many, many more. We have seen a huge adoption of Adobe Sign within numerous of our enterprise customers, and these customers have accelerated their business processes by implementing Adobe Sign into their day-to-day business activities. But it's important to understand that a solution like Adobe Sign is not just built for large international companies. Adobe Sign is scalable. It's a scalable solution which every small or mid-sized organization can take advantage of. So what is Adobe Sign? Adobe Sign is an e-signature solution that provides the simplest signing experience. It's just as easy to sign as it is to send. And it's also accessible on any device. So you can use your computer, laptop, mobile phone device, tablet, for example. It is Microsoft's preferred e-signature solution with pre-built integrations that run directly inside Microsoft, so they're easy to deploy and use. Finally, Adobe Sign is secure and compliant. It provides e-signatures that comply with the broadest range of security standards around the world. Why is this important? So why is the measurable impact so important? Why do we have these integrations in the first place? So back in 2019, Adobe worked with Forrester to determine the 3-year financial impact of Adobe Sign and found that Adobe Sign customers get critical signatures 28 times faster. So 28 times faster is returned to the sender than a pen and paper signature. A Forrester study showed signatures received in 3 hours versus the original process, which was as long as 8 days. They've also reported a savings of more than £5 per document and a 33 to 65 hours time saved per user. So this is a saving on 1.5 hours per signature transaction per year. And they've also realized a 420% total return on investment over the 3 years. The end-to-end digital document processes remove the gaps between IT systems that are not connected. And this is a return on investment that can result from closing these gaps. So we have a whole host of key Microsoft integrations. There's a ton of things which are in the Office 365 world. Adobe Document Cloud and Microsoft work together through an amazing set of integrations that span across the Microsoft stack. The point of these integrations and the standing objective is to bring Adobe Sign into the environment that people are using on a regular basis. And integration continued to grow and improve to include even more apps and capabilities. Sorry, I think I've just skipped a page. There we are. So Microsoft and Adobe together solve customer challenges and offer something that is truly differentiated in terms of value we can bring to the market. Together, we are amongst a few large software companies that have been serving enterprise customers for years. Both companies understand technology investments that customers make, and that translates down into the smaller company stance. So we know how investments in these applications become critical to your day-to-day productivity. And what we're trying to do by joining forces is maximize the value of these investments. So today, for example, there are more PDFs stored by business users on OneDrive or SharePoint than any other file type, with the exceptions, of course, of Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So you can see the synergies of what Adobe is doing and what Microsoft is doing as productivity solutions that mash very well together. Maximizing investment jointly help organizations transform their businesses from marketing to sales to IT. So more importantly today, what can Adobe Sign do to help companies? And this is to natively integrate with Microsoft's portfolio to build on that prior investment to take your business further. And the last thing here is that we will continue to accelerate on the areas of cloud, AI, collaboration, and really help customers increase the speed of their business. If you take a step back to see where Adobe Sign is being used, it is in every aspect of the organization, for customers facing front office functions to back office operational functions. And because Adobe Sign is such a versatile solution, it will allow you to accelerate and migrate your business processes from paper to digital. Whether you're working in sales, HR, or legal, for example, there's always a business process that can be optimized using these solutions at hand. Enterprises need a partner who understands the regulatory environment and has a long history of security and compliance. Now, Adobe is an industry leader and in the digital document space as well. So in looking at taking steps towards an end-to-end digital process, collecting signatures is a large component in this. Adobe offers an e-signature solution that is not only easy to use, both for the e-sign user and the signer, but is legally binding as well. It means it meets industry compliances, is very secure, and is fully auditable to anyone who accesses the document. Adobe Sign is fully compliant with the eSign Act of 2000 and the Uniform Electronic Transaction Act, as well as other electronic signature regulations, and these are around the world. As a global e-signature solution designed for verified signer to interact with digital documents from any location and any device, Adobe Sign meets and exceeds compliance requirements for many security and regulatory standards. Additionally, Adobe Sign can be configured to be used in any way that supports compliance with industry-specific requirements, for example. So customers are ultimately responsible to ensure that Adobe Sign is configured and secured in a manner that allows the organizations to comply with specific legal obligations. And these are, for example, the HIPAA, 21 CFR Part 11, AIDAS, SOC 2 Type 2, ISO 27001, and many, many more. At Adobe, security is priceless, and practices are deeply integrated into our culture, software development, as well as service operation processes. Adobe Sign employs industry standards for identity management, data confidentiality, document integrity, for example, and all of these help protect your documents, data, and personal information. Adobe Sign automatically generates an audit trail that tracks every step in the signature process, from initial document preparation through signing and archiving. This comprehensive audit trail is stored securely and can be used as needed to prove who signed a document and when they signed it. This legal background for the document is always carried within the document, ensuring whoever is accessing the document can verify the signer's authenticity. So back to authenticating again. So if authenticating a recipient's identity is a key element of the Adobe Sign system, and it is important to have that to obtain a legal signature. If you do look at the far left, you'll see that Adobe Sign uses email as its first factor authentication method. However, sometimes you have a document that needs a high level of confidence, for example, in that signer that is signing the document, or a user authentication. In that case, Adobe Sign has everything covered for you. They're offering multiple methods of advanced authentication, including a password authentication, an SMS, and a government ID authentication. Being able to prove one's identity is in the core of everything that we do. Providing identity is the core or the heart of an e-signature law, and how much we need to do as an individual to collect that signature form and to be able to prove that we are who we say we are. Compliance and regulation is what deems what type of signature you need. So 99% of the time, the use case that you're going to run into are going to be able to be satisfied with e-signature requirements. And this is very important to know. While the teams may seem similar, electronic and digital signatures actually describe two different approaches to signing documents. And those differences are linked within signature laws and regulatory requirements. So we do have two different types of signatures. We have an electronic signature and a digital signature. So for electronic signatures, we refer to any electronic process that indicates acceptance of an agreement or a record. We may use a variety of different methods to authenticate a signer identity, such as an email, enterprise ID, or phone authentication. We can demonstrate a proof of signing using a secure process that often includes an audit trail along with the final document. We also have a digital signature, and this uses a specific method to sign documents electronically. We use a certified-based ID to authenticate signer identity and demonstrate proof of signing by binding each signature to the document with encryption. There's also some validation in there through a trusted service authority. Now, if everyone's okay, I would like to go into the second part of today's session, which is a hands-on demo. Oh, I'll click on the wrong button. Just one moment, please. So I'm having a bit of a technical issue at the moment. All right, I'm back in. I'm very sorry. That just spat me out for a second. Let me just bring up my browser and hopefully you'll be able to see this in a few moments' time.
Yes, all good.
All good, very good. Sorry for that. Let me just bring that so it's a bit larger and increase the size there so it's visible. Right, so what I'm looking at here is the Adobe Sign web portal, and I'm already logged in. From my homepage, I can start a simple send for signature action by clicking on this request signature button here. This is our send screen, and in order to send a document for signature, we need to provide an email address here. So I'm going to add a fictional character for today's session. My signer today will be called Steve Walker, and he'll be assigned a signer role. We do have a drop down here with different types of roles you can apply to your recipients, and you can choose the appropriate role on this screen before sending out your document. We also mentioned on a few slides that we have a different authentication methods, and you can access that there. Now, let me grab a file from my computer, add that in, adjust my message, and send this to my preview screen. My document is now being uploaded. Right, so I'm in the preview screen now. I'm going to grab some form fields from the right-hand side panel. So I need a signature field on here. I also need a date field, and I need a name field. So all of these three fields will be assigned to my first signer, Steve Walker. There is a lot more we can do with Adobe Sign forms here. We can go to our data fields, and there are a number of different options which is select from here. We can have, for example, a text field, and these are great when we can assign different validations to text boxes in order to get collect the appropriate data and omit any errors. So I can go to my validation and select anything like such as a phone or a number or percentage, currency, etc. We do have different things here. We can have a Dropbox, so we can add a few options here for our signers to choose from. We can have some checkboxes, and these are useful when we need to get our signers to have a few options that you can choose from. We do have radio buttons, and these are instances where our signers would need to select only one out of the two options. We can also add an image, for example, onboarding. Get rid of all of those for today. And we can also add some more fields such as a hyperlink, file attachment, even payments fields we support. Now, if I wanted to send my document, I'm going to click on the send button here. I won't do that at the moment. I would like to show you the same procedure from our online Word, which I've got open to just up here. I want to show you how easily it is to integrate Adobe Sign and send off a form from this environment. So I'm here in Microsoft Word Online. I already have my document selected, and it is also pre-tagged, which you can see here. My Microsoft Word application is already configured, and I have Adobe Sign add-in already on this page. Now, if I hit the Send for Signature button, it will open up a panel on the right-hand side. I can see that my cover sheet document is already added into my send page. I can add my recipients again as per the previous page. And again, I can see my message field here, which I can adjust as needed. And I can even go into my preview and send mode here from this environment without needing to leave this page. And I can, again, click on continue if I wanted to send that document and not preview that. Now, again, I won't send my document from Word today. I'll use a different environment later on in the demo. I would still like to show you what else you could do in this environment. We can check an agreement status, and this is by clicking on this button here. Now that will open up a new window again. So it looks different than the previous window we've just seen, and it will show me my the last 10 documents which I have sent for signature. They will open up here. I could track all of my agreements as well if I click on here as well. If I open up the first one, I can tell you know at which stage the document is at currently. So this one is waiting for authoring. I might have a few which are waiting for signature, so you can see that by this little icon here. So this one's actually been signed, it's in green, and that's great. I can also view my agreements from here if I click on this button. And again, it will not take me to Adobe Sign. It will open up in the same environment, and I can see my form and I can see my signatures applied to that form. I can also do a few more other things. I can download, share, and add some notes as well on here.
Talia, just a quick question. You seem to have some red text on your Word document, which looks a bit funny. Would you mind telling us more about that?
Yes, sure. So these are tags which we have to add into our document before our signature boxes can be pre-populated. So as I've mentioned before, when you go to the Send for Signature tab, you do have two options. You can preview and send the document in order to add those text fields on there or signature fields on there. However, if you want to bypass that section completely, you can text tag your document. So your fields pre-populate without having to go into that authoring environment. So there is a bit of logic that you need to add in here. It doesn't take an awful lot of time. It's very straightforward. We need to just mention that, you know, a signature is a signature field, that a name field is a full name field, and that a date field is in fact a date field. And it gives you even here a small validation to say which, in which way your date is going to be shown on that form. And the reason why I've added that in red is just for my visual aid to be able to see where those tags are. And you can see that some of them do have some white space in between, and this is very useful when you want to create the same length of the field box. So so my first field box is sort of lengthy here, so just to make those two align, I've just added a few more white fields in there to make those equal. Great, so let me come out of this for now, and I wanted to show you as well my Teams. So I'm inside my Microsoft Teams channel. Let me go into my channels, and I am looking at the Global Corp HR. So this is a preset team which I've created. And I've already added my Adobe Sign tab here. So again, it's simply adding an add-on, an application add-on to the program. It involves 2 clicks. And from here, again, you'll be able to see, again, the same screen that we've seen both in the portal and Microsoft Word. So it's very easily, the system is replicated, so you don't need to, learn how to use a different environment. You would follow exactly the same process of entering an email address, adjusting your message, adding in your files, and sending that. We can also manage our agreements from this page if I click on here. So similar to what we could do in Word as well. So we can see our in-progress documents, waiting fast, completed, cancelled, expired. We can even enter, open up our templates from here, or web forms, and even enter in our mega sign section as well. So a very easy interface to understand. we can also track as soon as we send a document, not just from our manage page, but we also have another, excuse me, we also have another section here where Microsoft Teams is sending us live notifications as soon as our documents are signed. So we'll also get a message here and also a notification here showing number 1. And then finally, another great functionality we have is to get a live response from this bot here to let us know if a particular document has been signed. So if, let's say, you're using a group like I am, and you have a number of different participants in that group, and they set a number of documents during the day, and you don't want to go through all of your notification, you can check the status by opening a new conversation and saying at Adobe Sign, and then check status. And then that will come back with a automated message saying what is the name of the document you want to be checking. And then again, I want to say at Adobe Sign and say, let's have a look. I've used the cover sheet as one of my previous processes, and that should come up with a response showing at which stage my cover sheet is at. So for this one, for example, you can see that it's been completed, in fact, on May 6th. So it's really, this functionality is really great. It's super easy to understand. It's very user-friendly. And another great thing is that, your group that you've created, anyone who you've added to that group has access to the channel and will be able to see the status of your documents. So we're able to collaborate here and increase the visibility of our documents. So really a great tool. Now, my last part of the demo, I would like to show you my SharePoint integration with Adobe Sign. Bring that up, make it bigger. Now, let's say I'm in my SharePoint instance and I want to pick up 2 documents to send for signature. And let's say I want to take my cover sheet and employee agreement. From here, I can merge these 2 documents and send those for signature. And again, one more time, my Adobe Sign instance is here preset. Again, very simple, a simple search add-on, which you can install in seconds. And clicking down on the drop-down menu, you can see send for signature option at the top. Again, without having to leave my environment, it is going to open up my send page. Again, very familiar to what we've seen in the previous examples. This time, let's go ahead and send this document for a signature and send it to Steve. Let's call that cover sheet number 1. Add in a nice little message. You can already see my 2 documents are already added into my files. I can click on my preview and add signature fields if I wish to. However, my documents are pre-tagged, so I don't need to do that. I can go ahead and send that document off now. Let's go ahead and see what Steve has now received. And there you go. Steve has received an email from Adobe Sign saying signature is requested on cover sheet 1. And this is the document that we've sent to Steve for signature. Now, just on this page quickly, we are able to change the look and feel of this Adobe Sign email to match the company's brand identity. So what we are looking at here is the default out-of-the-box email template. It's got very minimal customization. And if you wanted to change completely the look and feel of these emails, there is an option to do so. I can see my message on here. I can see my due date, when this agreement is supposed to be completed by. If it's not completed by this date, it will get cancelled. So it's prompting me to be quick in completing this agreement. We have a nice yellow tag here, and it will follow us down the document. It will guide us where we need to sign. I'm going to click on there. You can see that Steve's name is already pre-populated, and this is because Steve already has an Adobe Sign account, so any information contained in that account will pre-populate onto this document. I'm going to click to sign. Again, because Steve has an Adobe Sign account, that's already pre-populated for us, but we could type in our name to sign here. We can draw an image. We can add in an image. Let's say this is a wet signature image that we would need to upload. We can draw it on a piece of paper, take a photograph of it, and upload it here. And finally, we can sign on our mobile phone device. We can add in our phone number. Click on the send button. It will we will receive an SMS message with a link, which we will click on. It will open up on a browser, and we can sign with our finger. Let's keep that as Steve Walker. I do have some mandatory fields here. I cannot move past this before I complete it. It's great. And then again, let's click on the yellow tag. Again, because I've already completed the step, it's just going to auto-populate that for me. I can click to sign out. We can also have a couple of other options. We can decline to sign and delegate that over if we wish to. Now that's signed. So rather than going into my email account now to see what I've received or to my web portal instance, I can go back to Adobe to our SharePoint. Let's go back. Let's see if it will. Oh, just here. That's a bit quicker. Now I've created a few folders on SharePoint here. I've created a partially completed agreement, a split folder, and signed agreements. Now my document has in fact been signed. So I have added in some logic here for all of my signed agreements to be stored directly on SharePoint. So I'm going to click on sign agreements. And hopefully my agreement will be there, and it is there. So cover sheet 1, you can see it's been added a minute ago. So it's successfully saved into my folder. Now let's go ahead and download these documents. I've also received an audit trail as well, which we always get with our signed documents. Let me just open that up actually in Acrobat Pro DC. Now my document has a blue bar that is assigned to the document at the top of the page. This certifies that the document is a secure encrypted PDF, which we cannot modify. And I can show that. So if I click on edit, you'll see that I'm getting this message saying it's not editable. Scrolling down, I can see that all my signature fields and name fields have already been added there. There's another section down here. So that's all good. If I wanted to double check again the validity of this signature, I could click on the signature and it will take me to an Adobe Sign Verify service as well. So there's an additional layer of security there, which I can check. Now, there is our second document, which we've received, which is the Audit Trail. And this report gives us an idea of all events that took place in the transaction. So when the document has been created, when it was emailed to Steve, when it was viewed by Steve, signed, and finally approved. We can also capture some data here. We can see the date and the time that this document has been completed and the time zone as well. And also our IP address, which is showing which device we have used to sign this agreement. Now, if anyone challenges this document and signature in a court of law, this audit report has all the evidence here to prove the intent of Steve Walker to sign this document. Now, this brings me to the end of my demonstration today. I would like to open up for any questions. And Bart, if you do have anything that you would like to cover for the rest of the session, you can take over now.
I do have one thing to add, which is something that just came out. It's brand new. So with regards to the Microsoft Teams integration for Adobe Sign, we've just now launched something brand new. It's called live video signing. And the principle is actually very simple. So what you do is you are in a meeting with someone, a private meeting using Microsoft Teams, and you can share a document in that meeting via Adobe Sign with that person that you see live on camera. You don't have to switch the camera on, but of course, we all love to see each other. And then that person can then sign that document live.
Exatamente, pronto, e depois...
I'm sorry?
I think it was someone on accident that unmute.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay, cool. So anyway, so this is just something that's brand new. I also put the link in the chat box. I put a lot of links in the chat box, but you'll get that link in the follow-up email as well. But just try it out. It's just a matter of adding Adobe Sign to your Microsoft Teams, and you can actually see the person that is live signing the document, which again helps you with a visual verification that it is the correct person actually signing the document. Not that that was a problem before, but again, it's something that we just launched, which I think is kind of interesting. And one more note with regards to SharePoint, just something that I think is just also interesting for you guys to know, is that when you have when you have information in SharePoint, so a lot of companies make something called SharePoint lists, where you basically have all sorts of data that you can map. What you can do is you can actually have either SharePoint pre-populate data in an Adobe Sign document, or vice versa. So let's just say that you have a SharePoint list where you basically have all your customers. Let's say that you have the first name, last name, and email address of that customer, but you don't have their official role, you don't have their phone number or other information. If you send that person a document, just because it's a sales order, for example, where you do require the information to be filled out in that document, so you do want the phone number to be there and the date and the title and everything else, what happens is when that document comes back into SharePoint, it will automatically extract that information from that signed document, and it will populate your SharePoint list as well. So you can choose to either have SharePoint feed into Adobe Sign or have Adobe Sign feed back into SharePoint. So again, that is something that we don't always show, but know that it's definitely there. It might be interesting for you guys to know as well. And that's it. I think it's a good time just to see if there are any questions for myself or for Natalia.